Good day guys. Gusto kong i-discuss yung value ng e-commerce ngayong 2019 at ngayong mayroong pandemic crisis. Gaano kahalaga ang e-commerce sa ngayon? Sa Amerika, $3.5 billion ang pumasok sa sales at inaasahan na ito ay aabot ng $4.9 trillion by 2021. Ganito kalaki pumapasok ang pera sa e-commerce. Ang e-commerce hindi ito gaanong pinapansin before. Pero nung nagkaroon ng pandemic, siguro karamihan ng shoppers, they shop online. They shop online, they buy online. So ang kumikita rito yung mga online shopper as well as logistics. In the US alone, $4.9 trillion will be or expected to hit the sales by year 2021. So, ano ang mangyayari sa mga malls? Yung malalaking malls sa Pilipinas ay mananatiling fulfillment center or bodega. Malls in the Philippines as well in other countries will become the fulfillment centers and storage or warehouses because people will learn to shop online, especially on these pandemic times, and most food industry, they accept resellers. Resellers are those who are selling online. So they just put the markup, nagma-markup lang sila. Okay, kung makikita nyo, karamihan ngayon ng mga malalaking store, mga multinational, they accept reseller. At nagma-markup lang yung, so we call this consumer, or we cannot say that this is B2C, business to consumer, or consumer to consumer, or reseller to consumer. So, hindi natin in-expect na magbo-boom ang e-commerce. So, alam natin magbo-boom pero hindi ngayon. Parang dahil sa biglaang crisis, napilitan tayong mag-shift sa e-commerce. Bihira na ang pumupunta sa malls dahil natatakot baka mahawahan, and at the same time, walang pera ang tao dahil ang karamihan ng benta ngayon ay grocery items. Manila malls may become e-commerce storage. Yung mga tao na nagtitipon-tipon at namamasyal sa malalaking malls na dati tinatawag natin na department store, may mga amusement park, ito ay posibleng maging storage or fulfillment center. Even dito sa Pilipinas, property developers in the Philippines are considering novel alternative uses for shopping malls as people stay home and prefer to buy things online. So mas gusto ng tao na mag-stay na lang sa bahay dahil natatakot nga sa infection ng coronavirus, and at the same time they want to shop online and avoid going to bricks and mortar stores. Even in the Philippines, according to the research of Bloomberg, SM Prime Holdings, the nation's biggest landlord, is leasing out some of its parking lots for longer-term car storage, while a unit of Ayala Land plans to convert areas in its shopping centers to e-commerce, back-end facilities, and medical clinics. So yung malalaking malls na may malalaking lupa ay pinalilis na lang o hinahanap nila yung ibang way kung paano kikita yung lupa na gawin na lang o parentahan na lang na opisina o parking area or car storage. Pilipinas ang pinakamarami at may pinakamalaking malls sa buong Asia. Capital Manila and surrounds boasts total retail space of 7.3 million square meters. So 7.3 million square meters, ito yung total land area ng mga malls sa Pilipinas. And that is more than twice the size of New York Central Park. Napakalaki ng 7.3. Ito yung total average ng mga lupa ng mga mall sa Pilipinas na makukonvert sa fulfillment center or offices instead na maging malls for amusement and recreation and shopping. The coronavirus threatens property dominance of Philippine stock market. Kaya ang Ayala and Logistics Holding Corporation is studying turning parts of its mall into last mile fulfillment facilities according to a document seen by Bloomberg. So yung malalaking lupa ng mga malls ay piniplano ng gawing fulfillment facilities or offices. So yun na lang para mabawi yung kita ng lupa. And malls in the Philippines continue to explore opportunities. And yung ibang commercial area ay i-convert sa healthcare clinics or office spaces. Yung malalaking mall ay pinaupahan na o lease out sa mga bangko kasi itong malalaking malls may malalaking parking area at malalaking space na hindi na kailangan dahil wala na nagpupunta sa malls. Ito yung masaklap na kinahinatnan ng mga bricks and mortar store. Napalitan sila ng e-commerce. So yung mga retail developers like SM and Ayala must look at possible areas to pivot and repurpose space. Ano pa yung ibang purpose na pwedeng gawin dun sa mga bakanting space ng mga malls para kumita? So, yun nga po mangyayari. Storage and warehousing. And giving higher priority to logistics demand as shoppers go online. So, mabubuhay ang logistics kasi kailangan pa rin ng delivery. So, ang shopping online pero yung physical delivery will be done by third-party logistics or the in-house logistics of bricks and mortar stores like SF and Ayala and other malls in the Philippines. And mall owners should consider leasing out vacant space to working companies as businesses seek smaller offices in various locations. So, parentahan na lang ng mga offices yung mga bakanting space ng mga bricks and mortar stores or malls. Now, we have to unlock the lockdown. So, by August 18, shopping malls, restaurants are all set to reopen across the country or in some other regions starting next week in areas outside the containment zones. Yung mga areas na walang gaanong infected, they can operate leniently or medyo democratic ang operation. And all activities that were prohibited earlier will be opened up in areas outside containment zone in a phased manner with the stipulation of following SOP or protocol to be prescribed by the IATF board. So magkakaroon tayo ng health protocol para makapag-umpisa tayo magtrabaho, we will work, we will shop, we will live together with the virus. So, ingat na lang po tayo. Kasi mag-GCQ tayo, kailangan natin nakamask. Sa sasakyan, kailangan ng naka-face shield. Okay? So, ano ang mangyayari sa retail supply chains? So, there will be new operational risk. Ano yung operational risk? At ano yung dapat gawin? 5 actions can help retailers bring goods to communities and help employees. So, retail supply chain should step up efforts to provide consumers with essential goods and to protect the health and well-being of the communities they serve. So, customer service, you have to consider the customer service and at the same time prioritize the health and well-being of the communities they serve, including its employees. So, ito na yung mga training na additional kailangan sa supply chain and logistics. Health and safety in the delivery system and fulfillment centers. And particular challenges have arisen in global retail supply chains where the pandemic's far-reaching effect have weighed heavily on the health and well-being of employees and jeopardize livelihood and economic lifelines in many communities. Retailers are now taking extraordinary measures to keep goods moving to store, shelves, and consumer doorstep. So, we have to serve customers, at the same time we have to protect the health and well-being of our employees as well as the community. That's why supply chain leaders are creating transparency and building rapid response capabilities to mitigate the short-term fallout from the crisis. We focus on the 5 actions retailers are taking to resolve the immediate challenges that COVID-19 presents to supply chain workers, business partners, and operations. So, ano ang dapat gawin ng supply chain leaders? Build resilience and return the supply chain to full effectiveness while reimagining and reforming supply chain operations to improve their performance. Improve the performance of supply chain, being agile or resilient, and bringing back the supply chain to full effectiveness, at the same time reimagining and reforming supply chain operations to improve their performance. Ano yung 5 actions na dapat gawin ng mga supply chain leaders? Okay. Malaki ang nagbago sa spending habit ng consumer. There are changes in consumer spending during the outbreak. Nung nagkaroon ng outbreak, priority ng mga consumer ang groceries and food items kaysa sa mga non-essentials tulad ng mga damit or ibang gamit or other fashion things, no? So, how retail supply chains are adapting 5 priority areas. Supplier should secure demand. Suppliers should be reliable in order to secure the demands of our consumer. And merchandising operation should redirect inventories as what we mentioned. Ang fast-moving items ngayon usually are food items and groceries. In distribution, we have to add capacity safely, and logistics should balance agility and flexibility. So, agility and flexibility. Being resilient and at the same time being flexible or adaptable to the current situation. Food retailers, since food and groceries items are considered to be essentials and priority of consumers. So, what they should do? Food retailers, non-discretionary goods, the transportation of non-discretionary goods should ship to discretionary goods retailer whose private or dedicated fleets are likely to be underutilized because of lower sales volume. So yung mga sasakyan ng mga non-discretionary good or non-essential goods i-ship muna sa mga essential and food products. Yung mga underutilized resources should be shipped to fast-moving items, and these are the foods and groceries. And there are several examples of cooperation across industries to get products on shelves, especially in high-density urban areas. So, urban areas are congested and there are many possible customers. So, we have to get the products on shelves on time to high-density urban area customers. Other American quick service restaurant chain has offered its transportation capacity to food banks and fast-moving items retailers in key metropolitan areas to help communities by assisting deliveries of essential items. Just like in the UK, competition laws are being relaxed so that supermarket chains can cooperate and share transportation resources and depots and get essential products on store shelves more readily.